Hi, I'm Chuck Dorsett for Weaver Leathercraft, and we're going to make two incredibly gorgeous belts out of simple belt blanks. You're going to be amazed at how easy this is to do. Well, now right off the bat, what's a belt blank? Easy enough. At Weaver Leathercraft, we're going to take some of our most beautiful belt weight leathers, and we're going to strap these down for you. Multiple widths, you don't have to strap. Secondly, we're going to add that beautiful round end punch, a nice detail. We're going to add snap or rivet holes to secure our keeper and an oblong so our buckle prong can slip through the leather. Cool. All you have to do is add your size holes, pick a keeper and a buckle, and on a side note there, weaverleathercraft.com. You'll find everything I use in this video and more. So, belt blank, easy enough. Well, now this we're going to do in chapters. So chapter 1, we're simply going to size this belt. At that point, you can jump to chapter 7, assemble that belt and you're ready to go. Or follow me to chapter 2, where we're going to do our edge work. Again, a very professional detail. At the end of chapter 2, jump to 7, assemble, you have a beautiful belt, move on. Or follow me to chapter 3, where my favorite, we're going to add some decoration to these beautiful belts. All right, so what are we using? This is called a Water Buffalo Crazy Horse, and it is gorgeous, very rustic. Now, it's a pull-up leather. I'm not going to go to great detail there, but it's one of my favorites. In fact, that's my belt, Water Buffalo Crazy Horse. Secondly, we're going to use a Herman Oak Natural Veg Tan, and this is beautiful. This leather is a pleasure to work with. With that, we can stamp it, carve it, dye it, antique it, top coat, which is exactly what we're going to do. Is that not a beautiful belt? In fact, with these belts, you're not going to replace these belts because they wear out. You're going to replace these belts because you're just simply tired of wearing it and it's time to make a new one. I hope that's your exact feeling after you make a couple of belts. Now, let's do this. First thing we want to do is size our belt. Easiest way to do this. Let's take the belt that we're wearing and we're going to find the hole with the most wear on it. Let's take a measurement from that hole to our bend back, right to where we're going to bend that buckle or bend that strap back for our buckle, which typically is right in the middle of our oblong. That's going to give you a great measurement. So let's do this. Let's get that measurement and then drop that in on our belt blanks. Now, not a perfect camera shot. Belts are hard to shoot simply because of length, but we're going to make it work. Now, to save a little time, I took my belt off, measured this. I'm a 34. So I'm going to take a straight edge or tape measure, whatever's going to work to give you some good length. I'm going to start right at the middle of my oblong on this end. Now, 34 inches. So I'm going to come down to 34 and I'm going to mark the center of my belt. Now, the camera's not going to pick that up, but nothing complicated here. Now, I can always use a square so that I can make that mark spot on in the middle. But really, with a strap, it's usually pretty easy to see. Now, for me, in my opinion, I want to back in one because our waist size can change simply from, say, going from summer to winter with the amount of clothing we're wearing. So I want to be able to back off. Now, second note here, 1 inch spread to me is a little too bunched, whereas 1.5 inch is absolutely too far to get a good fit when you put the belt on. So let's split the difference. Let's go 1.25 inch spread between each of our holes. So we're going to go 1 in, 4 out. So from 34, let's mark at 1.25, 4 holes out. There we go. Easy enough. 6 holes. It's going to give us over 7 inches of measurement there. Now, from our last hole, I tend to like to come out 3 inches because if somebody's on this last hole, I want enough tongue there to be able to go around the buckle and through the keeper. So let's mark right there at 3 inches. Now, we would typically put an English point on that. That is simply a belt tip punch. And we have two beautiful tools. But if you don't have a belt tip, you can simply make a template with a piece of paper. 1.5 inch wide, simply fold that over, make a cut, and you have a perfectly symmetrical English point. So what I'll do is I'll lay that right there, mark it, and then cut it. So what we're going to do now, let's move our quartz back in, and we're going to step over here, punch our holes. Now I'll punch our second belt between chapters to save us a little time. So with this, we have 2 ways to punch a hole. Revolving punch. This is the center of every leather shop, most used, most useful tool. 6 holes. Now we have a drive punch. But here, we're going to need a mallet, our punch board, and some quartz behind that. So let's simply go with a revolving punch. Now, this is a compound punch. if you're not used to punching holes, it's going to make very easy on your hand and your forearm. So, any one of these holes will work. I just want to make sure the hole is large enough for the buckle tine. Now let's drop that in, and we're simply going to punch one hole after another. Now, made a little mark on my leather. This is very cool, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here in just a second. There we go. All right, and I did it again. This is a pull-up leather. Notice how it will lighten because this is tanned with oils and a dye. The dye is a lighter color than the oils. So when you bend it, a lighter color pulls up through. That's why it's called a pull-up. But also, too, a little scratch like that, I can take my finger and just rub that back over it. Look at that. Almost gone. The oils will cover up scratches. This is a great leather. All right, so right here, I'm going to lay in my English point. And with a scribe or a pen, it does not matter because we're going to cut this off, I'm going to mark that. Well, this leather is easy to mark too, isn't it? It's a great leather. So let's cut that. Easy enough. And the other side, putting some pressure into that. It's a good thick piece of leather. There we go. We've got our English point. A little rough around the edges. Let's just use our finger, polish that down. And that looks great. Very professional. Okay, so our blanks are done. Now again, I'll punch the Herman Oak before the next chapter, save us a little time there. But easy enough. So at this point, you can go straight to assembly, knock this together, or our next step is going to be to do some edge work.